wow, what were you before?
I don't know anybody that's been
Get that
consulted
feedback
with.
into
All is going in that
generate
Nobody's
put a substantial grant.
Bustling community,
business and residential units.
Wonderful working and living
Mississippi. It's got yachts, stone floors,
Just going to carry on
right on the edge of the city centre.
This is the
place into which the city centre is expanding.
I remember Holbeck in the back-to-back houses. We had one in a little street with an outside toilet.
Ronnie wouldn't run down and two up with no bathroom or anything, so we had to have a bath downstairs in a tin bath.
Suddenly my nana had a little bedroom converted into a bathroom, and we suddenly became and felt very posh.
No need to go to town to do any shopping. There was every shop that you could mention. Pork butchers, paper shops, food shops, dress shops, hat shops, gents outfitters, everything.
There was a shop on every street corner, so at the end of the street you had two shops, and possibly on some streets there were two shops at the top as well.
There were lots of playing areas which were, I think of now as being magical, you know, like ponds and slag heaps that we called pit hills that we could slide down or play hide and seek on and just wander, you know.
Everybody was best friend to everybody else in your particular street, or you could go 2 or 3 streets down the road and people would raise their hats to you and shake your hands.
It's for a bustling community where there were factories, engineering and tailoring factories, and everybody was in work, and it was a real booming area.
My grandma, she worked in a toffee factory. Water houses it were called, and I remember bringing little scraps of toffee home and things. My mum, she went on to get a job there, and funnily enough I worked there myself as well.
All along Water Lane there were factories. Garage. So really that is Holbeck. Yeah.
The Tsar of Russia actually came to visit Holbeck because of the connection with industry and the technology that was going on at the time.
Back in 1760, Matthew Murray basically created the round foundry itself to design and fabricate machinery for steam machinery, steam locomotives.
The first steam engines that drove the paddle steamers on the Mississippi were actually made in Leeds, in Holbeck.
I think Holbeck has some of the most interesting industrial architecture and historical architecture in Leeds and probably in the north of England. So from the point of view even of just pure aesthetics, it has the most wonderful environment and wonderful feel.
When we first walked around here 16 years ago, it was literally a discovery of a tarnished jewel. This place was full of extraordinary warehouses and northern lights and little alleyways and cobbled streets.
By the 1980s and 1990s was that it was the last stages. The buildings were in poor condition, talking about people occupying very poor quality space, you're talking about car repairers and valuable services, but really not generating the value that the area once was.
Here was an opportunity where we had a huge area of derelict land and buildings right on the edge of the city centre, which is rare, surrounded by motorways and road and rail networks. So it couldn't have been a better position and location to have a proper village. And that's where the word urban village came about.
If you can create a really ambitious, great area next to the city centre, then it has great aspiration and future for the neighbouring communities to the south. Because unless you can achieve that for this area, it's unlikely you can change perceptions, I think, in Beeston Hill and Holbeck.
And therefore, from the economic perspective, it is quite an important part of the city. And I think the revitalisation of that whole area is going to play a very, very important part in how the city is regenerated.
But if you went into the school playground and said, I don't know, have you seen Holbeck Urban Village? I bet 8 out of 10 people would say, where's that?
It's not categorised like Holbeck where I am, you know where Holbeck Moor is and stuff like that. So at the present moment, I don't know where it is.
You'd hear people saying, Have you seen that big building that they've put up? It's like a Dalek, and then somebody else says, oh, it reminds me of a CD rack shape of it. And that's end of Holbeck Urban Village conversation, if you like.
At the moment, I can't really see how it's affecting me. Nobody's put a message out there to say, this is really about you. And this is about making your life, better in some way.
The original vision for Holbeck was to ensure that a really important spatial area of Leeds contributed to Leeds' economy again, as it had done in the previous 200 years.
The intent has always been to create a wonderful working and living environment, generally, which will benefit all areas of the city.
Broadly, the vision is as set out in the planning framework. It is for a whole new area of Leeds, with a focus on creative digital industries, but using the historic buildings to the best effect and really recreating a hive of activity.
It's very important for the city as a whole because it is the place into which the city centre is expanding. It's very important for the residential communities because this is where the offer of new employment would be. This area is going to stitch together the city centre and existing communities.